For the last few weeks, we've been working with fractions. We're going to be starting comparing fractions this week. So first, we're going to be looking at comparing with like denominators. So let's just review the parts of a fraction really quick before we do a couple examples. So this is what a fraction would look like. The number on top is called the numerator. The number on the bottom is called the denominator. So we're going to be comparing fractions that have the same denominator today. So the numerator will be different, but the denominator will be the same. So let's look at our little trick for comparing them, and then we'll do some examples. So when comparing numbers with fractions with like denominators, let's say I have 1/4. I'm just going to put this little circle in the middle to put our sign, and 3/4. When we compare, we use our less than sign, our greater than sign, kind of sloppy right there, and our equal sign. So those are the symbols we'll be using when we're comparing. So we have less than, greater than, and equal to. So when we're comparing fractions with like denominators, since the denominators are the same, we're not even going to pay attention to them. We're just going to look at the numerators. So we're just going to compare the numerator since the denominator is the same. So we're going to compare the 1 to the 3. So 1, is it less than or greater than 3? And we know 1 is less than, so we're going to put the less than sign. So 1/4 is less than 3/4. Since the denominators are the same, we do not have to pay attention to those. We just have to look at the top numbers, and it's just like comparing regular whole numbers which we did at the beginning of the school year. So 1/4 is less than, I'm going to put my little L, 3/4. Now I'm going to show you some examples that the students will be doing for their assignment this week to help them practice. Just trying to erase some of this. All right, let me pull one up. All right, so the students will have one similar to this. They'll have different fractions. Some of them will be 4s, 5ths, 9ths. But since it's like denominators, the denominators are always going to be the same. So the first thing is we're going to shade in our figure. So we have 1/3. So we're going to shade in 1 of the thirds. You don't have to shade it in perfectly. They're just going to use a little draw tool. They can scribble it in just like that. Now on this side, we're going to shade in 3/3. We're going to shade in 3 of the thirds. So all of them. And now we're going to look to see which one is greater than or less than. We could look at the models, so which one has more shaded in, or we can look at our numerators. So remember, we're going to be using the less than signs. We're going to be using the greater than signs. And the reason we put these dots on them is so that we remember less than has 1 dot in the front and greater than has 2 dots, since 2 is bigger than 1. Then we have our equal. So let's go ahead and look. So is 1 greater than or less than 3? So we know that 1 is less than 3, so we would put our less than sign. So the students will have to shade in their fractions and put their symbol. They can put the L under it if they want. It's totally up to them. They'll also have examples that look something like, oh no, let me see if I can find an example. I think I accidentally deleted it. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So let's go ahead and clear this example off. So when the fraction has like denominators, we're just going to look at the numerators. That's just an example for them to practice creating a model. All right, so their next examples will look something like this. So it'll already have it shaded in, so they're going to have to write the fraction next to it and the symbol. So their fraction will go right here, and they have to count how many what the denominator is how many parts. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my denominator will be 9. So that's all the parts together. And then I'm going to put the shaded on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this fraction is 5/9. I'm going to do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my denominator is going to be 9 because that's all the parts. Then I'm going to count the shaded. So 1, 2, 3, and my numerator will be 3. Since the denominators are the same, we're going to be looking at the numerators. So again, we're going to be using the same symbols. Less than, greater than, and equal to. So less than, and we put the letter under it so it helps us remember. Greater than or equal to. So we know the same denominators, we don't have to look at them. So 5, is it greater than or less than 3? We know 5 is greater than, it's a bigger number than 3. So I put my greater than sign, put my little g, and then they're all set. So that's how we compare fractions with like denominators. If they have the same denominator, we're just going to look at the numerator. We've tied in some models to help students practice with the area of region model, because they'll be seeing those on tests. If you have any questions, please let us know.